Heyo, and what is up, gang? Thank you for checking out Sledgehammer TV tonight. I don't know if I'm still just kind of on a high from the awesomeness of War Games and how good Survivor Series actually turned out being when all was said and done, that maybe my brain was just a little bit more accepting of tonight's episode of Monday Night Raw. Seth Rollins was not the worst part of the show, and that is one of the biggest surprising things I could say to you guys tonight, but that does not mean forgiveness for everything, because there was still a whole lot of things wrong with tonight's Monday Night Raw following up Survivor Series, and we are going to talk about it all right here and right now. My name is Nick Nightmare, and you are watching the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show's Monday Night Raw Review and Reaction Show, Survivor Series Fallout Special. Let's do it.
Sledgehammer Wrestling Show.
An interesting beginning and a very interesting ending to tonight's Monday Night Raw, but everything seemingly in the middle just felt like your usual Monday Night Raw bullshit, trying to struggle to stay awake through and trying to just hope and pray that things are going to get better, because so many things tonight were just ridiculous, and I do not understand why they would do a lot of the things that they chose to do tonight. Number one, Rey Mysterio winning the United States Championship. What the hell was that about? Why? Why is Rey Mysterio even walking around right now? Do you guys know that Dio Madden took an F5 like a month ago? And he's been nowhere to be seen. He is 3 times the size of Rey Mysterio. He is an athletic person, so he should be able to take some damage and not be gone for so long. Rey Mysterio took an F5 less than 24 hours ago. A very vicious F5, might I add. Lost an opportunity at the WWE Championship, and then inserts himself into the United States Championship picture for no apparent reason. Actually, other than the fact that he just wanted to go out and wrestle, I guess, when he shouldn't even be walking. Nobody sells anything anymore. We talked about this a little bit with Adam Cole being on Survivor Series. As great as that match was, with the bump he took at War Games, he shouldn't really have been at Survivor Series. At least to sell the impact of the maneuver. If everybody can just get put through a table and put through F5s and come to work the next day like nothing happened, then why are we even doing these things? Why are we having these matches and doing these death-defying things if you're not going to at least lean to a little bit of the believability by selling it, by not being around? Rey Mysterio got his son's ass kicked for the second time by Brock Lesnar last night. Dominic did a great job. The giant baby man came out to help Tiny Dad in a very sticky situation at Survivor Series, and they were almost successful, you could say. They almost got the best of the beast, but that didn't happen. Brock Lesnar tore the hell out of both of them, and now tonight Rey Mysterio is showing up, winning championships, being inserted into championship matches for no reason. That's a big mistake. Big mistake. Charlotte Flair and Asuka for the 100th time. Who cares? Why do you care about this? Oh, it was a good match, Mr. Nightmare. They gave it almost 20 minutes. I want to give it the poop hammer. It's definitely a poop hammer worthy segment, just like Rey Mysterio is a poop hammer worthy segment, because why did they even take the championship off of AJ Styles in the first place? We didn't even broach that, and I don't even understand. What did the OC do to piss everybody off so badly that all they do is lose ever since they were put back together? And if this is AJ Styles' bad guy persona when he's with the OC and he's with the Good Brothers, then please turn him back into a babyface, because he's even more cringeworthy as a heel than he was as a babyface. And that is coming from a guy that has seen him actually be a very damn good heel in the past. He was great in TNA in his little bit of a heel run. He can be edgy and vile and dastardly. He's not going to call people mother lovers and make stupid corny ass jokes. Maybe he doesn't deserve to be the United States champion. But we were talking about Charlotte versus Asuka. For the... how many times are we going to see this matchup? Oh, she's getting her vengeance for WrestleMania. What? What? And then you have them wrestle 20 minutes only to get the green mist blown in the face of Charlotte once again. But Charlotte was smart enough this time because, this is wrestling and we know it's coming and we don't want to make it seem like wrestling's real or anything, right? So Charlotte's going to have the frame of mind to, oh shit, the mist is coming. Let me pull my hair back. This way I don't get that green shit in my hair again. That must have been a nightmare to get out for her last night, that she had to make sure she pulled her hair out of the way, putting her face clear in view for Asuka to spit right the hell in it. And I'm not supposed to call that. I'm not supposed to tell you guys that. Did you miss that? It's very possible. You might have thought maybe she was just fixing her hair. No. She pulled her hair back, ponytailed it back, so that the green mist wouldn't get in her precious flowing blonde Flair locks once again. Awful. And why? Do you know what all this is leading to? This is leading to Becky Lynch, who didn't feel it necessary to be part of the show tonight. She wanted to end Survivor Series last night, being the top dog in the yard, yapping like a big Great Dane about how this is her show and whatever, and she got the last laugh on Shayna Baszler, but she wasn't even on Monday Night Raw tonight. But all this is leading to is Flair and Lynch going up against the Kabuki Warriors for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. And what do you think's going to happen there? I'm not interested in any of this going forward. This isn't going to lead to a rebirth of the feud between Charlotte and Asuka, which we don't need. This isn't going to lead into Becky versus Asuka, which is something I would love to explore in a singles aspect. But since Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch have to be attached at the hip, then we have to deal with all of this. They just cannot let these girls be by themselves, go on their own road, because they just need to keep Charlotte in the main event. They need to keep her at the top of the card, even when she's not the champion. And Becky Lynch as the champion now, she's been the champion since WrestleMania, and it's just become stale as shit. And it has nothing to do with her affiliation with Seth Rollins. It's just seeing the same old song and dance over and over again. And then we're seeing girls like Rhea Ripley show up who are real badasses. Rhea Ripley is what Becky Lynch sees when she looks in the mirror at night before she goes to bed. That's what she thinks she looks like and acts like and sounds like, but it's not. It's not. She wishes she was Rhea Ripley. And it's just becoming old and boring. And you guys watching me, I loved Becky Lynch. I was all for Becky Lynch. I was right there leading the charge when she was getting shit on all at the beginning of the year. And when she was being taken out of her spot. But now they've done nothing interesting with it. The women's division is dead. The tag team division for the women is just as atrocious as the men's, and I have no interest in any of it. So does it matter that they gave you this great match? No. What they gave us was a poop hammer. A big old fat poop hammer. And you know by now this week that you can get your very own Poop Hammer t-shirts, now available at bonfire.com/store/sledgehammer-tv. I will leave a link in the description down below, and also I will try to leave one in a pinned comment in the comment section to make it easy for you to jump to the page and pick out what you want. You got a Sledgehammer TV logos t-shirt that comes in all colors of the wrestling rainbow. The red of Monday Night Raw, blue for SmackDown, yellow for NXT, orange for my home, House of Glory, and the black representing AEW. Or you could be a brave soldier in the Sledgehead Army and you could arm yourself with the most powerful weapon in all of wrestling reviews, the Poop Hammer, which goes to the segments that deserve it the most. Wear it proudly on your chest. Tell people what it's all about, then direct them to the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show so that they could witness firsthand the power of the Poop Hammer. And don't be afraid to wear a little poop on your chest. This whole world is full of poop, and people ain't scared of seeing a little shit now and then. Alright, but I do understand if you're not the type of person that wants to walk around with a poop on your chest. But hey, listen, we got the holidays coming up. Black Friday is coming up this weekend. You're looking for some good Christmas gifts? You got two right here. If you know a Sledgehammer Wrestling Show fan, you want to outfit them with their gear, this is the place to go. Bonfire.com/store/Sledgehammer-TV. Get your t-shirts now. Thank you guys. And now let us go on with our Monday Night Raw review and talk about another Poop Hammer segment before we go through the official rundown, and that, of course, is going to be the Milk Dud segment. Bobby Lashley, the human trashy Milk Dud man, and his main squeeze, Lana. We get a matchup thrown at us, and it's going to be Bobby Lashley versus Titus O'Neil for... God, no, for reasons, I guess. Somebody knows the real reasons for why, but we will never know, and I don't really care to know. But just by seeing Titus O'Neil in the ring and having this one-on-one match with Bobby Lashley, you knew Rusev was going to get involved, didn't you? Because you are a sledgehead and you are not an idiot. So you knew where this was headed right before the bell even rang, and that is exactly what happened. Rusev came out, attacks Bobby Lashley, and then things get kind of crazy, and they overbook this thing, and they all fight to the stage, and this whole entire segment is made infinitely worse by the constant shrill shrieking of Lana, who's just trying so hard to be the focal point of this segment just by the level of her volume. I couldn't stand it. It was piercing my ears worse than an earring gun. I felt the pain with every single word that came flying through her lips. As every time she screamed the word, Bobby, Bobby. I know most of you guys, just like me, can't stand this segment. We don't want it to exist at all. Was it cool to see Rusev finally grow a set of balls and come out and try to defend his marriage and beat the shit out of boring, trashy, human milk dud Bobby Lashley? Sure, that was kind of cool. But at the end of the day, if I don't care about the bottom line and the meaning behind the story, I'm not going to care where it goes. What, are we going to get Rusev versus Lashley for Lana's heart? I don't give a shit. For the divorce papers? Divorce papers on a pole match? Viagra on a pole match? Who gives a shit? This is the worst angle in all of professional wrestling right now. Nobody likes it. Everybody's shitting on it. Yet it's still one of the most predominantly featured angles on the show, week after week after week. They thought it was so important that after Lashley got carted out and Rusev kicked the scaffolding on top of him after pushing him and being handcuffed and being arrested, and then they want to strap Bobby Lashley to a gurney and bring him to the hospital, and then all of that's finally over, and then we got to go back and get an update from Lana. And all Lana wants to tell us is, oh no, I'm going to be okay. I was put through a trauma, but I'm okay. Did we need to know that? Absolutely not. We didn't need any of this. If they scrapped this storyline today, it would be too soon. If they chose to, it wouldn't be too soon, I guess is what I meant to say. It needs to happen now. Because it's awful. And nobody's going to miss it. We're not going to go next week and go, oh, what happened to Rusev and the Bobby and the Lana thing? We're not going to give a shit. We're going to be grateful that we're moving on. Put his friggin' wife back with him. Let Rusev Day be the thing it wants to be. And just get rid of Bobby Lashley. Because he's useless. Utterly useless. Let's talk about something that I thought was going to go badly, but actually didn't. And that was the opening of this show with the town hall meeting called by the Raw captain, Seth Rollins. And I actually enjoyed this. And I enjoyed the opening to Monday Night Raw because this is Seth Rollins in his element. What he needs to be is what he has been being all along. But you can't be a sniveling, whiny little prick, as Kevin Owens so perfectly called him tonight, and be a good guy. And try to have everybody cheer you and burn it down and all the Seth freaking Rollins. And, no, man. But tonight was good. Tonight, Seth Rollins came out. He was embarrassed. He was embarrassed, and following Survivor Series, he wanted to place the blame on everybody from Monday Night Raw. After such a poor showing from the entirety of the show, with the exceptions of the tag team champions, which we did not see tonight either on Monday Night Raw, he was calling everybody out on their shit. He told Charlotte Flair, "You suck." He told the Authors of Pain, "You suck." He told Randy Orton, "You were the weak link on the team for Monday Night Raw, and you were worthless to me." And Randy Orton decided to walk off, giving Seth Rollins one of these on his way out. The entire Monday Night Raw roster, one at a time, started to turn around and walk away. The AOP turned around and walked away as Seth Rollins just went on and on in this rant, blaming everybody for their failures, but yet saying he's doing this for everybody on Monday Night Raw. He's doing it for the fans. He's trying to get everybody back on track. We need to be the A show, and you guys didn't show up last night, and I'm trying to motivate you here. And as everybody was walking away and Seth Rollins kept taking shots at everybody, he turned around to see Kevin Owens waiting in the wings. He started to shit on Kevin Owens. "Oh, you mean Mr. NXT over here? What have you done? You just show up. You're a lazy piece of crap. You don't do nothing. You just show up here when I've been here trying to make this a better place for you," and blah, blah, blah. Next thing you know, Kevin Owens drops Seth Rollins with a stunner. And off we go. Off we go, finally, with something on Monday Night Raw that is going to gain my interest. In a heel Seth Rollins versus a babyface Kevin Owens. And considering what else happens later in the night with Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens, I'm listening. My eyes are open and I'm listening, and I'm going to come along for the ride with you guys here. We are not shitting on this, and this might be the best thing Monday Night Raw has going for it right now. Is this change in attitude for Rollins and placing Kevin Owens where he needs to be at the top of the card as the face of the brand. The crowd wants so desperately to cheer Kevin Owens. He got the Steve Austin pop when he came out from War Games, 4 War Games at NXT, that Road Warrior-like pop. He's a megastar. You put him against Seth Rollins, we're going to get some interesting television. Kevin Owens is one of the best on the mic. Seth Rollins is great on the mic, especially when he's an evil little bastard. Remember how annoying and just how perfect he was as Triple H's right hand in the corporation, or in the authority, whatever they wanted to call it at the time. He was perfect. He's the cocky, arrogant champion. He looks like a little nerd. He looks like he shouldn't have the success he has. And he should rub it in your face. And that's the road we're on here. This guy started this whole segment taking down CM Punk. The crowd in Chicago wanted to chant for CM Punk because we all collectively have a great disdain for Seth Rollins. But Seth Rollins put everybody right in their place. He said, "Listen, I left the door wide open for CM Punk. I invited him here. I wanted him to be part of Raw, but he wants to go sit behind the desk and play around in Los Angeles." There was the perfect response to shut the crowd down. It was great. It was very well written. It was very well executed. And then having everybody turn their back and leave him only for him to be destroyed by Kevin Owens was awesome. It was a great way to start the show. I wish the momentum would have stayed, because we immediately followed this up with the Bobby Lashley versus Titus ONeil ordeal. The winner by disqualification is Bobby Lashley. That match didn't mean a goddamn thing, and all of this was what we already touched upon, which was the brawl between Rusev and Lashley, which ended up on the stage, and we seen Rusev get handcuffed and yet still come full force attacking, shoulder blocking Bobby Lashley off of the announce stage onto the floor and then kicking over the scaffolding onto him. Lana's screeching just kept making me turn away from the TV. This was Just a whole lot of wasted time, if you ask me. They put Bobby Lashley in a neck brace, they put him on a stretcher, and then we go to commercial when Bobby Lashley is loaded onto the ambulance. This is followed by the first of 2 appearances on the night for the Authors of Pain, who were taking on Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins, I guess because they had to finally do something, right? But I don't understand why, if they were going to play a part in the end of this show the way they did, why this match was necessary. Did we need to double showcase them? I thought the bait and hook was already there. They walked out on Seth Rollins in his little speech, so you had no reason to think anything. Seth Rollins pinpointed them out that they're walking around talking shit, but they haven't done nothing since they've been here. So the trap was already set. Everything was already laid in place. We didn't need a useless tag team matchup, which was nothing more than a glorified squash. Lasted about 3 minutes, all for Hawkins and Ryder to continue their losing streak. It was more about that than about the AOP showing up on Monday Night Raw and getting a win, if you ask me. The winners, Authors of Pain. After this match, we had Andrade versus Akira Tozawa. This was a way too short matchup. I thought maybe we were going to make a turn and say, hey, look, we're going to make people fight that you guys don't really see fight each other too much. So I got a little bit excited, maybe a little bit overexcited. I was like, damn, this is going to end up being a good match. And it was a very good match. It was just way too short. Way too short. Zelina Vega didn't play too much of a part in this thing. She just was like the maestro on the outside. Vega calls for Andrade to finish Tozawa. He hits the hammerlock DDT in the middle of the ring for the pin and the win for Andrade. Guy's got a nice win streak going on. Nice little win streak going on. He's building momentum to do what? I don't know. Aleister Black is backstage. He has another one of his little, I'm alone in the dark and blah promos, and I really don't care. He shouldn't have been shown saying anything. Buddy Murphy could have had his matchup with Matt Hardy take place, and Aleister Black could have just came out, and it would have made perfect sense. You didn't have to waste time with him saying all this shit, trying to sound like the Joker sitting in the dark in the back. Matt Hardy versus Buddy Murphy. This was interesting because I got excited for this match as well. Once again, something different. But either Matt Hardy is a fantastic actor deserving of an Academy Award, or he really got knocked the fuck out tonight. Because he took a knee from Buddy Murphy towards the finish of this matchup that dropped him. He looked lights out, like immediately. He lost his footing. He went straight down to the floor. Buddy Murphy tried to follow up with another attack, but Hardy was seemingly unresponsive. Buddy Murphy had to drag Matt Hardy. He couldn't even get up on his feet. He dragged Matt Hardy to the middle of the ring on his knees, executed a third vicious knee strike, and then got the very unusually timed win. I thought there was probably much more to go. This seemed to be something that had gone wrong. If he was not selling, something went extremely wrong there. And if he did sell for us and sold for Buddy Murphy that way, then bravo, bro, because you got me concerned. And all I can say is I hope that Matt Hardy is okay, because he scared the shit out of me with that matchup and that spot, and I wasn't okay with it. I really wasn't. They followed this up. Charlie Caruso's backstage with Charlotte Flair, talking about her history with Asuka, what happened with them at Survivor Series. Flair is ready to make Asuka pay for using the mist and blah, blah, blah. And I didn't like how the WWE seemingly tried to paint Asuka as the villain. I know she's the heel in the scenario here, but it was Charlotte Flair that tagged herself into the match. So Charlotte Flair started this whole thing. There was already tension there going into the matchup. But had Charlotte not done what she did, she wouldn't have got spit in the face. Right? But they wanted to make it seem like, oh, Asuka just turned on poor little Charlotte. Which was a whole bunch of bullshit. We come back from the break, and we have the United States title matchup that was scheduled for tonight, which was Humberto Carrillo versus AJ Styles. And I'm thinking, again, we're going to get this rematch. And then the OC come out. Gallows and Anderson just absolutely dismantle Humberto Carrillo. This prompted Ricochet to come out and some referees come out. Now we're not going to have this matchup. AJ Styles starts to take the mic. He starts to talk shit about Humberto Carrillo. The music hits, and Randy Orton comes out. Randy Orton says Humberto can't compete, but he can. Ricochet wants to compete. Randy Orton now wants to compete. This prompts Drew McIntyre to come out. He suddenly wants the United States Championship. This then makes Rey Mysterio come out. He wants the opportunity at the United States Championship, even though he lost to Brock Lesnar last night. And this whole thing just really broke down in a very unorganized, very rushed, very stupid manner. And they had the Fatal 4-Way, Ricochet versus Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton versus Rey Mysterio. Now, I'm fine with the match. It's not about the match. The match is actually interesting, and the 4 people in the matchup are going to guarantee that we are going to have an entertaining Fatal 4-Way, and that's fine. But let's think about this for a second. The WWE just threw this all at you in one night and did it in such a fashion that they made it completely uninteresting in the lead up to the matchup. A number 1 contender's Fatal 4-Way matchup is something that you can use to build and tell a story and keep our interest from week to week. And now, I'm not going to come out here and say, oh, well, they should have had a tournament for number 1 contender. That's not at all what I'm about to tell you guys. What they should have done is tonight. See, this is where Raw and SmackDown kind of lack having an authority figure. Because what you needed was somebody to be able to establish this. And what we are going to have tonight is 4 singles matchups, 8 men, each of them with an opportunity at the United States Championship. All they have to do is win their match tonight, and then they advance to a Fatal 4-Way next week on Monday Night Raw. The winner of that match gets a shot at AJ Styles the following week on Monday Night Raw as well. So who are you going to put against these guys? You have the main crop in there. You got Ricochet, you got Drew McIntyre, you got Randy Orton and Rey Mysterio. So now you need 4 other guys. These 4 guys can be guys that can just lose, since these 4 are the main 4 you're going with and are going to end up in your Fatal 4-Way, right? So you could have Gallows and Anderson be put in there and add a little bit of an intrigue. And AJ's just going to assume that Gallows maybe is going to go up against Rey Mysterio and just going to tank it for him. But maybe big Luke Gallows is like, well, you know, brother, maybe I want to beat Rey Mysterio, and then it'll just be you and me, and may the best man win. And then AJ's not going to like that, and you could have some tension there. You do the same thing with Carl Anderson. Carl Anderson maybe versus Ricochet. And you have the same thing going on. And then you can add in an Andrade Cien Almas to take on Drew McIntyre or Randy Orton and fill in the blank with the last person. Who cares? It doesn't matter, but you could have made it more interesting. We would have had 4 matches tonight, each with implications, moving them on to next week. Then you have the Fatal 4-Way that you wanted to have so desperately tonight, and so much more can come of it. But having Rey Mysterio be the winner of it in the end makes no matter how you did it. You could have done it in a tournament. You could have done it over the course of 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks. It's not going to make a difference. Rey Mysterio winning this thing after being a perennial loser over the last couple of months, failing to be able to protect his son, having to bring in his cousin Cain Velasquez only to lose in embarrassing fashion at the Crown Jewel, and he gets rewarded by giving the United States Championship tonight. He should be dead, or at least injured. But no, he's winning titles tonight because he's Rey Mysterio. Why? Because Randy Orton had to get involved in the championship matchup? Why did we have to have the championship matchup tonight either? I don't understand that. Why didn't they have the match next week? You establish the championship contender. The champion now has a week to prepare. Next week we have Rey Mysterio versus AJ Styles to look forward to. Again, it's not about, that's a good match. That's a dream match. But having Rey Mysterio win just sets everything out of whack for me. It doesn't make sense. Why is he winning? Shouldn't he be helping AJ Styles maintain his momentum and keep him and his faction going in a positive direction? The older guys should be around to put over the newer guys, much like Matt Hardy did. Whether he was aware of it or not is another story for another day. But Rey Mysterio is your United States champion. And then you got his giant baby son coming out, putting him up on his shoulders. He's got his dad up on his shoulders. I couldn't put my dad up on my shoulders and lift him up. Do you know how stupid we look? Especially if he was half my size, which he wasn't. I'm just saying. Don't you think your dad was a little embarrassed? It's not like he was put on the shoulders of a bunch of conquering hero friends of his, Well, his son has him up on his shoulders, making him look like I hated all of that, by the way. If that didn't come through with my delivery, I'm sure it very much did. But I didn't enjoy any of this. Rey Mysterio is our new United States champion. I can't imagine why. But it is what it is. I think I might have enjoyed it if Dominic was the one to make the run-in instead of Randy Orton, because that's all this was. They took the championship off of AJ Styles to establish the fact that he's now mad at Randy Orton. And is Randy Orton supposed to be a bad guy? I don't even know who's what anymore. They're not making the lines very clear for us to follow, I'll tell you that much. We come back from the break, and Charlie Caruso is in the back with Kevin Owens. And this is one of my favorite parts of the show because Kevin Owens on the mic is absolute gold. She hands him the microphone and leaves, which was the best decision this girl has made all night long. Owens starts off with very serious words for Seth Rollins, going on and on about how Kevin Owens says, I have never tried to be something I am not in the WWE, even when people try to force him, because he knows who he is, who he will always be, and that's fine. Owens says Rollins has always tried to be what he thinks the company wants him and needs him to be, but he just turned himself into an insufferable prick instead. Owens then continues to say that the next stunner that he receives is going to turn Monday Night Rollins back into the Kevin Owens show. And I'm all in. I'm all in for it. After this, we had Asuka versus Charlotte Flair. We already touched upon this. We're not going to really talk about it again. Kairi Sane was not too much of an issue. I thought for sure we were going to see Becky Lynch or possibly Shayna Baszler or somebody come out and do something, because there was nothing of interest happening here for me at all. Asuka gets the win. She rolls up Charlotte Flair after spitting the green mist in her face. She celebrates with her partner Kairi Sane after, laughing at Charlotte Flair. She's covered from head to toe with the green shit again, except for her hair. She had to make sure to keep that pretty. And then we go to the back and we have to see Eric Rowan talking to us through the cage. And my whole entire dinner wants to come up. It makes me feel so uncomfortable. I feel like I'm trapped, or I'm like about to be raped or something. Or like Jigsaw's going to come out and give me a razor blade to try to cut my way out of it. But I have to get the key out of my big toe on my left foot. And I don't want anything to do with it. And it's so stupid. And then he comes out and wrestles some jerk-off named Kyle Roberts. We still don't know what's in the bag or the box or whatever it is. And I'm starting to think that it's actually just a live feed camera. It's going to just be a camera. He's going to pull the thing off the thing, and you're going to look into the grate, and it's just going to be like a little desktop cam, and he's going to call it Sam, and that's going to be his thing. It's Sam the Cam man Sam. I don't care. The bell rings. This match is over before you knew it. Eric Rowan wins. He goes to ringside to his little pet thing, and the music hits, and that's it. We still don't know what's in the box. I don't give a shit what's in the box. What's in the box? What's in the box? I don't care. I definitely don't. We got a Black Friday commercial with the Iconics, which made me not want to buy anything ever again. It's made me just not want to spend any money anywhere in the world. And I don't know why that is. Maybe it had nothing to do with them. Maybe it's just something I felt personally in that moment. But the shrill shrieking and then the addition of R-Truth and the big WWE, hey, look at me, I'm a clown, I don't give a shit, 24/7 avocado toast gold-plated championship belt on the centerpiece of the table, I just immediately kind of blacked out, and it's just not anything worth really talking about. We see both Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens warming up for the main event backstage, and then we see the OC standing there, and AJ Styles looks like he's gonna have a conniption, and the new girl, Sarah, what's her name, she wants to talk to AJ Styles, and she wants his comments. Well, what do you have to say about losing to Rey Mysterio? And this is what we get from AJ Styles. I know my microphone's still working and your speakers are on. This is what we get from AJ Styles. Randy Orton. It was kind of ridiculous. I understand the man's so mad that he can't find the words to express his rage. But the facials, did it have to go that long? Do you know that repetition is comedy? Not really drama. The more you do it, the funnier it becomes with each instance. So if he would have just been like at a loss for words, quickly just like, Randy Orton, and then like walked off, we would be fine. But the constant thinking about what to say, like for a minute there I thought he forgot what he was doing, and maybe he was thinking in his head like, did I leave the oven on? Did I tell Wendy to shut the iron? Is Samoa Joe on my porch again? Because he's not here doing commentary like he should be. Definitely sorely missed was Samoa Joe on commentary. But that was a useless segment. Just as useless as the follow-up to Rusev and Bobby Lashley's incident. Charlie Caruso is backstage with Lana, who gets tremendously booed as usual. She said Rusev is a danger to himself and all of society. Why hasn't he been deported back to Bulgaria? She's getting multiple restraining orders. Rusev is obsessed with her. You're his wife, you stupid idiot. He should be obsessed with you. This is not good. This is not good enough grounds for you to go out and cheat. My husband is obsessed with me. He loves my body. He licks me all day long. He wants to bang me all day long. He absolutely loves me and is completely obsessed with me. I fucking hate this guy. What? What a fucking idiot. The main event of the evening, Seth Rollins versus Kevin Owens, which featured some very good action. We got some CM Punk chants. I wish you guys would stop. I really wish it would stop, because the more... I know it's Chicago and that's where it's going to be strongest, but he's not coming out. And there was no reason to protest this matchup. This was a fine matchup. There's nothing wrong with it. Kevin Owens is great in the ring. Seth Rollins in the ring is fantastic. It's his outside character that is just completely cringy, and his Twitter game makes you want to punch him in the mouth. But other than that, he's fine. This was a good main event. The crowd was all over Kevin Owens winning this matchup. Every time he gained the advantage, they were on fire. And it was fantastic. Owens and Rollins had a lot of great action here, a lot of good near falls, and it was very, very good. Until Owens catches Seth Rollins with a stunner, and the Authors of Pain suddenly enter the ring. They're all dressed up now. They're not, in the wrestling type gear they had on before. They're all in their suits and ties like they were ready to leave town. But they came out and they assaulted Kevin Owens. They hit him with the Super Collider. They hit him with a couple of other double team maneuvers, which they kind of struggled on because Kevin Owens is not the lightest in the world. He's a much bigger boy than they're used to being able to throw around. He's no jobber. But it was effective. And I'm waiting this whole time for Seth Rollins to stand up, start smiling, and embrace the AOP. Because we have said on this channel, just like many channels back in the day when Roman Reigns was the one that was the bane of our existence and was just too good to be good and just you wanted to not see him at all, we were among many that have mentioned that something they could do is make the Authors of Pain be like the new Shield with Roman Reigns. Or we also mentioned like a Samoan faction or a Samoan mafia with the Usos and something or other like that. And I was thinking that that might be the only way you could possibly save Seth Rollins, and they took steps in that direction today. I am not in any way trying to suggest that the WWE is watching this show and have stolen my idea, which could very well be the possibility for many, many other things. But on this case, maybe they are just finally coming to their senses. The Authors of Pain haven't done shit. This is what they need to be doing. Things like this. Not wrestling a couple of friggin' D-card acts that haven't won a match in years. They need to be doing things like this. Taking over the main event, aligning themselves with somebody like Seth Rollins. Do you realize how much more hated Seth Rollins is going to become when he has these two massive walls in front of him for everybody to have to get through? My only concern with it is actually that the Authors of Pain are probably going to be taking a lot of losses now because they are going to be the heavies. They're going to be the heaters and the big heavy hitters for Seth Rollins. So they're going to go out and do all the work, and everybody's going to have to beat the Authors of Pain to get to Seth Rollins if they actually go down this road. So at the end of the day, is it going to really make them look good as a faction? Yes, it's going to get them some television exposure. It's going to put them shoulder to shoulder with all of the guys at the top of the card, which is all fantastic. But it doesn't matter how much you're up there if all you keep doing is losing. So hopefully they balance it out pretty well. I don't even know for sure that that's the way it's going to go down, because they had Seth Rollins standing his ground, challenging the Authors of Pain. Come on, come on, come on. And the Authors of Pain turned and walked away. So it's very possible that Seth Rollins does not even know and is unaware of the Authors of Pain's intentions to be helping him from this point on. Maybe they were motivated by his stupid little speech at the beginning of the show and have taken that into consideration and are now going to start helping Seth Rollins whether he knows it or not. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was Monday Night Raw. The fans were not into it. The fans were booing Akam and Razor, and that was not the type of booing that you would want. You can tell the difference between, wrestling heat, like, this is cool, boo, you guys suck, and just boo, we really don't like this. And I don't know whether it was because it was the Authors of Pain and the lack of push that the WWE has given them, that nobody really gives a shit about them on the main roster level anymore, or if it's because it just has something to do with Seth Rollins getting one up on Kevin Owens. I don't know what the reason was, but I thought Chicago was a little bit too mean to the end of the show tonight. It wasn't the greatest of ideas. They didn't have the best show. They didn't have the best finish, and they didn't execute it 100% to perfection, but they did leave us with some questions. They left us with some intrigue. They left you with a little bit of a reason to come back and tune in next week without just the overwhelming sense of, I know I'm going to hate every minute of this show, which is going to be the case, but maybe there's a light at the end of the tunnel here. We have to try to be optimistic, and after what we got all weekend long, and considering what we've seen on Monday Night Raw, with this one storyline and one storyline only, maybe the future might not be so bad, but let's not put all our eggs in that basket, because I certainly doubt the ship is righting its course. It's an experiment. Maybe they're trying. Hopefully it gets over and it changes things enough that Monday Night Raw actually feels different, and maybe we'll get some good, compelling TV. And that's all, as fans, we can ever ask for. Thank you guys so much for being with me here tonight. There's not much more I could say to you guys. We talked about everything we needed to talk about. Poop hammers were thrown down all around this show. Don't forget to pick up your Poop Hammer t-shirt right now at the bonfire.com store/sledgehammer-tv. TV. Pick whichever one you want. Pick them both. Pick your nose. Just pick something right now and show your support and love for this channel. You could also do so by smashing that subscribe button if you are not already a subscriber and a member of the Sledgehead family that we are growing here at Sledgehammer TV, and it grows larger and larger by the day. We are 2,000 plus of the world's smartest wrestling fans, and all we're missing is you. You know you're a smart wrestling fan. You made it to the end of this video. That's one. You probably agreed with most of the stuff that I had to say, and you probably want to get your hands on one of those pretty sweet t-shirts. So hit that subscribe button right now. Hit the notification button so that you don't miss anything else that we got coming your way on Sledgehammer TV. And then share this video with each and every one of your wrestling buddies all over the wrestling world, especially if they need to know what was wrong with tonight's episode of Monday Night Raw. And then all of you can collectively smash that thumbs up if you had a good time here today, if you enjoyed anything that I had to say, if you agreed with my points, if you liked some of the fun and different ways we go about this. We don't just sit here ranting and raving and being the angry fan or being the super logical fan. We like to have fun. We like to make jokes. We like to have a good time, because Monday Night Raw doesn't like to make us have a good time. So you could leave all that to your friend Nick Nightmare. That's my name. My name is Nick Nightmare. This is the team, Thor the Sledgehammer, the official Sledgehammer of the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. His tag team partner, the World Heavyweight Champion of all the microphones in all the world, Mr. Blue, the Snowball. The most important member of the team, as always, is each and every one of you. Don't forget to check out everything else we put up. There's all kinds of shit on this channel right now. We got the Survivor Series review. We've got the War Games review. We got Friday Night SmackDown's review, AEW, and so much more as we continue to take over the wrestling YouTube community, one subscriber and one show at a time. That, my friends, is going to do it, and we are out of here. We will see you next time right here on your new favorite wrestling show, the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show, only on Sledgehammer TV, right here on YouTube.com. Boom.